Okay. Okay, I think it's good now. After you go live when okay. Okay. That's good. Like audio test. You guys are good?
Yoping?
Yes, so I will introduce the show. So there's already one person watching. So thank you, our great friends who have joined us today. We are live again. This is the U-Turn bi-weekly show. If you are new to this platform, U-Turn is a platform where we share information. We want to empower our community through information and storytelling. So please share this live show. It's very important. We're talking about a legal pathway to Canada. I know many people who are trying to immigrate to Canada who are back home, or people who are in Canada and wish to help their folks who want to come here that to do with schooling or visit or anything. This is the session for you. So share the live show, like it, and let friends join. We have a very, very important guest on the show today who would give us some expert insight on what it is you need to actually help with immigration process for yourself or your loved one. So Athea, welcome to the show. We are glad that you join us to come and fill in our audiences with all the skill, the knowledge, and life experience that you've had. So we will start the show just by asking you to tell us a bit about your background, and then we'll dive into immigration and why it is important. So
Thank
take
you,
it away.
Akmal. And everybody, you are welcome. And wecha college ne benti wek ben ko baka ben ping kalwel ko ke katana. So and it all at the tingake and Louis can one of the organizations when quite by Canada. So I'm here in Attack Bulwell. So Bendy, Benaby, and Canada, they are both through one of the organizations, Wanakwai Bay Canada. I Chiboke, I be Kuma. I was privately sponsored. I came through as private sponsorship. Sure, that'll be better. Through private sponsorship. So Benaby and just sponsored by my brother, together with the church, okay, and then with the organization when quite was sponsored. Yin Kahiran, Yin Chile Baran was sponsored it. You cannot do that. You either have to be in one of these three groups Bakalwel. So one group is the sponsorship agreement holders. They are organizations, and CAKE, we have over 138 here in Canada. So IACACHOL sponsorship agreement holders. But yeah, I did not learn in organization day. Another one is through community sponsors. It can be Kanisa Wintoyintin, Luya sponsorship. It can be any community, and that's the second one. And another one is the group of five. I know that maybe most of us are familiar with the group of five. So it can be like 5 people or more come together and do sponsorship. So group Kakakadia, they have to register with immigration. Okay? So when long when time can immigration. So the sponsorship agreement holders and then long can immigration. They have registered Kwajiton. Group of 5 the same, and community sponsors the same. So
Sorry, I have to mute myself.
sure. So na Korba Ben Canada, kayine aning tariga jwe when le bayin ka Ben Canada. So anchi bijam kakadia, but I can just mention them. So ile baben kayine visitor. Ile baben kayine worker. So under worker you can be a caregiver or a nurse or any other thing. So that's work permit. Visitor ile baben through random being wa invite baben or AN Tariga one year. So and also a student. So the student permit. Student permit, nabar student permit kin bengadi loy aneng long when baka kwanchok. So kebale we na Tariga bayin kajwe ke yotina ben out of Immigration, Refugee and Citizenship Canada. So that's the website Akuma. So if you go to your Google search, type in Immigration, Refugees and Canada, and then kabayin your create ben kor, you can know bayin we apply. So all these are bakayu under the RICC website. So kabi anjam tine kola a sponsorship of refugees. Sponsorship of refugees. So refugees is like one of the Tariga wanna be graduate your work. Whether you working a student, well in a family, well you borrowed to it most of us go in our both through refugee programs. So how the sponsorship of refugees program works with the private sponsorship. So like I said, when private sponsorship, it has only 3 groups. 3 groups. So the sponsorship agreement holder, the group of 5, and the community sponsors. So koike kekali bayin kamadwane kek in Ukraine, one of these groups back sponsorship of refugees back and cake. So because when channel well doing in Chile by sponsor baran we sponsored it. So you have to be a part of one of these groups. So refugee refugee
I have a quick question at the end.
Yeah.
Is it under the sponsorship refugees that Dinti Libera and Louis sponsor it, or is it overall? Because I know that when you are a citizen or a permanent resident, you can bring an immediate person, right? Like let's say your husband, your boyfriend, your girlfriend, your father, your mother, your child. So those I think you can. What you cannot do is somebody that is not related to you immediately like this. And I think siblings you cannot as well, because those are not your responsibility, especially when they are adults.
Right.
But if you have like adopted children and what have you, you can do that. Can you help us clarify when you say you cannot sponsor someone as an individual?
So my sister Liz Luel I did AE, but that's a different program. IHL family class. So na family class, those that qualify under the family class Timantena did Kaluela. Definition of family in Canada, watch it. So your spouse, your children, which we call them dependents, or your dependent children, meaning mikamiku, or the dependent of your adopted children, who your adopted children. So these are the people you can sponsor under family class. And that one, libalo iraduito, kena akuma. So you have to log into, again, go to the RICC website, the Immigration, Citizenship, Refugee Citizenship in Canada.
Oh, I
and
will share the link.
search-
I will share the link, and Akwal, you can bring it up as she speaks about it. The IRCC link.
Yes. So, Kaka, you just go to the link, to the website, and like I said, once you search RICC, Immigration, Refugees, and Canada and Citizenship, create a broad bait on here. So you click on what you want. So all the ways of coming to Canada are under that. So I got most of the links, and Alakir will send them out. So so that's family class. I hope we are clear on that. Yeah. So Kijamantin a private sponsorship. So under private sponsorship, we're talking about sponsorship of refugees. So sponsorship of refugees, you can do with the group of 5, this community, and the SAR, sponsorship agreement holders. So refugee yenga timanunti analwel angikwo dia ben be woyanga refugee. A refugee era nunti panden one le mashaklat, either mashakil retong by wala ye natural disaster, can be abor wala ye tonga the flood kujala drought, like kakibana ka ko chow by ko so nacha jal pandun ku chaben pandeng pe ku inchi ben recognized ke you refugee you've registered can quite UNHCR. So there you're considered a refugee. Into pan pe refugee era and jal panden the reasons of fear of persecution, okay, and the nationality, reasons of being nationality, religion, also violation of human rights, and also conflict, violence, so kakeben I kawanara job pandin. So nachaja ben in another country, and then kuinchulwa register in a refugee in that place. Kayinti are qualified to be sponsored under private sponsorship because you're a refugee. You are recognized. Country where in called a reason that a refugee Iran when she do pandin for reasons you cannot return to your home country. So you have to be eligible for this sponsorship. Na Iran will badu pandun kinchi Louis sponsor because in I think chopin I think nakin so ile badu pandun, so you're not qualified in that case. So and also about sponsorship of I think I covered almost all the groups. So under the private sponsorship, also there are only other 2 that I did not mention. So family class already at well, so it can be, you can sponsor parents, dependents, adopted children, spouse, and everybody and those. So siblings are little, they're not considered family. They're from Canada. So we're quite hot and could look. Luckily, me, I got working quite a pandun, work sponsored under family class. You're not considered family by Canada. Sorry. So, yeah.
Thank you so much, Atieng. I'll get back to you. Now,
yeah. Can I just mention one?
Yes.
So there's one sponsorship though, one also for refugees, but it's called JAS. So it's the Joint Assisted Sponsorship. So this program is mainly sponsor refugees with special needs. So refugees with special needs, for example, let's say visually impaired persons, in trauma, affected by trauma, okay, systematic discrimination, also and a large family members. So these people can be sponsored under JAS, Kinekra Akuma. Akuma Kayaloy, or sometimes the sponsorship agreement holders or community can sponsor them as well. So with this sponsorship, achieve Duncan the rest of other regular sponsorship, because the other sponsorship, the sponsorship period is just for 1 year. Now, for 1 year, meaning that, so Nachara and Kuchabe, Canada, you're going to support this person for 1 year. And the support include housing. You have to pay for the housing for this person. You have to pay for the transportation, food, like it may include all of that. So that's the support you come and give the refugees in Chikaban, Canada. Nimritine with JAS, kian different. These people are people with special needs. So sponsorship then get up to 24 months, sometimes up to 36 months, depending on the situation. So that's that. So Akwal, you can go ahead and ask your questions.
Thank you. Yeah, that is very comprehensive. So now I work a copy again to the show. Thank you. I saw someone called Madel. You're watching all the way from Lake State in Rumbek. This information is valuable to you, and thanks for joining. Share the message. We also have someone called Dut John from Juba. That is great. Share the information. We're talking about ways in which to come to Canada legally. And also we have our brother here, Maria, all the way from Canada. Oh, from Kenya. Okay, I'm already thinking you are in Canada, so that is a good luck for you. You should submit your application. So what I think just say to just summarize is refugee sponsorship. And we all know that refugee sponsorship, there are two main ways for refugee sponsorship. One is for the government. So government usually provide sponsorship for refugees. For example, Ukraine government, be from Ukraine, just directly from the war zone to come to the countries, even Koram in other part of the world. Like I'm working on Syria, Tien Tongdom, go quite directly to Canada by government. So government sponsorship. But there is also government sponsorship that quite a call or came because and when you bend directly, the government can say, I want to bring 20 people or 25 people, but then the rest go to refugee camp. So in the refugee camp, government go to different refugee camps. I know where I come from and where many of other ladies on the show come from. Is that government not quite a PR, the interview and they follow the process. So I'll be working IOM and UNHCR to come to Canada. So that one is working. Others, it can be a long process. You can wait for 5 up to 10 years, but you can still come. But KGM has things specific today, private sponsorship. So there is government is doing its work. It's very slow, But we also have like private people like me, like Lisa did, like Alaki on our show right here. And these are private people, are Canadians, or and what about watching Mark? What the be around to I can walk. In a group of 5 just want to tell cock a pet then. Also, you know, but we connect when Canista in your community sponsorship. When can you want it? So,
yeah, it can be that.
yes.
Yeah.
And also, so Kanisa can help. You can join hand with Kanisa, or there are kind of agreement holders. Some.
Yes, sponsorship agreement holders. Some, yes.
Yeah. So those are groups. So we will share links, but around the so link I share thing I keep so I'll be shared. But there are different other things different ways where you can come to Canada. Maybe I didn't live with different. Personally, I'm both through refugee, but through student. It's called merit based. So in Canada, there is merit based scholarship for refugee students. So even at the end of time, school with Lisa did, I think, about MasterCard. That is also another way you can come to Canada and you can speak more to that. So before I have a theme, maybe give Lisa did an opportunity to share how she came to Canada and also other ways she knows that you can leverage. And we will definitely share resources with you, record that, and share the message with others who may be looking to come to Canada.
Thanks, Akol, for that opportunity. Mine is actually very different from how most people came. I came as an international student. Like Etienne had mentioned earlier. I had a scholarship because studying in Canada is very expensive as an international student is not affordable because international students pay almost 5 times the fees that Canadian students pay. So we are talking in the north of let's say per year. Okay, so if I break it down per year, you would be spending about between 30,000 to 50,000, which is crazy. I mean, put everything together, including your accommodation, food, tuition, and all that, and co-curricular fees, all that is required. And per term, especially for the first year, it's always, I know now they have increased the amount that is needed for a student that is just coming in. So I think it would be a comfortable, I don't have the ballpark number right with me, but if you go on the link that is just shared, you will get the exact number. But what I know is that for somebody to come as an international student, it's safer to have $30,000 in their account, aside from having paid the first year tuition in full. So tuition that will cost you another, let's say, maybe depending on what college and what program you're studying. Let me just give a rough example. Let's say maybe it costs you like 15,000 or 20,000. So coming as an international student is almost impossible for the most of us, except the few 1% that can easily afford it if the parents have that money. So for me, I was lucky. I got a scholarship, MasterCard scholarship that brought just the 7 of us across this sub-Saharan Africa. I went to McGill, and so as Athing had mentioned, there are a couple of conditions. So you get to work as an international student, you can only work, let's say, 20 hours a week. And maybe on campus, okay, if you can work off campus, then there's restrictions as to how many hours you can work, because then your main focus becomes school. And if you intend to stay longer in Canada, like myself, I wanted to spend a few more extra years in Canada working and gaining experience, then to apply for a postgraduate work permit, there are conditions that you need to fulfill during your studies to get to be eligible for that work permit. So including being full-time and not failing your classes and just like abandoning school and what have you. So it is a strict process. And I don't know if Etienne had already mentioned, so after school, after postgraduate work permit, if I still intend to stay in Canada, after the period of my postgraduate work permit, then I do have a chance to apply to become a Canadian permanent resident and to continue to work in Canada and stay legally. Then there are so many ways. Okay, I can get married. Okay, that's a quick joke, but yeah, I know. I mean, that's an option, but I don't think it's the safest. I don't. If it's not coming on a clean plate, then that's not the safest way to go. But other ways is through the express entry. You know, express entry. You go into the pool and you're given points according to. So if you studied in Canada, you get points. If you have a high proficiency of the English language, you get points for that. If you have worked in Canada, so for Canadian work experience and skilled work according to what you studied, you get points for that, and you get ranked among the people that are in the pool. And if you get an invitation to apply for Canadian permanent residency, and you get your application processed successfully, so you can stay in Canada longer than that, and you then go on the path of becoming a citizen maybe 2 to 3 years later after that. So that is the process that I would follow, because I did not follow I did not come through the refugee strategy, which I think is a bit more straightforward, because for those that come through WUSC, they apply for they come as permanent residents, I believe, and after a couple of years, 2 to 3, they get to apply for their citizenship. So that's definitely a pathway. And the question that I always hear from people is, how do I come to Canada like you? Well, I have just explained, as a student, you can come. If you have a scholarship, I know MasterCard, well, this is another question that people ask. MasterCard no longer sponsor people to come to Canada as undergraduates. So it's still active for master's programs. So if you go to the partnering schools, I know University of Toronto is a partner school of MasterCard Foundation, a Scholars Foundation. McGill University, where I went to, is a partner university as well. I know UBC, University of British Columbia, is also a partner across Canada. So I know those universities still sponsor students for master's and doctorate programs. So if this is something you're interested in, you can go to the MasterCard Scholars Program link and search that up, and then just go through all the eligibility criteria, like read carefully, and also find out, research. You can ask us questions. One thing that I encourage is ask intelligent questions, and what I mean by intelligent questions is ask questions when you have done your research, because it is so wrong to come and ask me, how do I get an admission to this university? Please, it is on their website. I don't even know where. I went to McGill. I don't know where the administration office is. I have no clue where it is. So, and I do not know who processes admissions. Everything is done on the portal right now. So when you've done your research, and then those intricate questions, or those that need fine details that you don't understand, then it's good at that point you ask. And if I don't know, I will ask somebody else that knows. So that's what I would encourage, and that's basically the path. But yeah, scholarships are always a good way. If you have your 100,000 lying down somewhere, Alakira has actually shared the MasterCard Scholars link, so you can find all the links in the comments. Thank you, Alakira, for that. If you have 100,000 Canadian dollars, US dollars, or even Canadian dollars lying somewhere, and you want to invest that into school, then this is a straightforward. I know right now the system has constricted a little bit, because there is a lot of politics around or against actually immigration right now. So there's a quota to how many students Canada is looking to allow into their system. So there's the process is a bit more rigorous than it was a few years back, because of elections, I believe. So you would need to be more diligent and to do almost everything that you need to do for your applications, right? If this is a dream and if this is a future step that you would like to take. Otherwise, there are scholarships all over the place. So the other thing is with the express entry, by the way, studying in Canada gives you more points, but you do not need to. You do not need to have studied in Canada, and you do not need to be physically in Canada to apply into the express entry to immigrate into Canada. You can immigrate into Canada as a worker without having studied here for as long as you have a doctorate. You not a doctorate. You have an undergrad degree and even a master's degree. The more education you have, the better for you. And then you have some experience, some work experience in whatever country you are in. You can use that experience to get points in the Canadian system. And if your points are high enough, you'll get called. You'll get an invitation to apply for permanent residency. And when you get that, you get to come to Canada as a worker. So you do not necessarily need to have studied in Canada to come through that pathway. Yes, going to school does help because you get points for studying in Canada, but foreign work experience is also valuable. You might want to go on that link and find out the work class that Canada is pro. I know construction, trade skills, nurses, especially healthcare, agriculture are top priority. So if you have experience in those fields, I think there was a lot of STEM also. So science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. That is also really encouraged. So if you have experience in that field, you don't need to shy away. Just go on the website and find everything and then try your luck, apply. If you get it, good. If you don't, you can try again. Yeah, and if you have questions at that point, that's where we will be helpful. Not when it's wrong to ask questions before you research. So I will stress that. Do your research and then ask questions after your research. Thank you, Akwal. I think I have talked so much. Yeah.
So one thing I would like to add on it is that through work, there's another program, TPI Bay 1, Economic Mobility Pathway. So that's for the skilled refugees. So you'll have been through that as well, as long as you meet the requirements. I don't think then we'll book a quarantine in because natural work will tell you if you get a job offer here and deduct, I think, from whatever you make. So in that way you get to pay back. And to answer the last two questions down there, the amount involved, or the cost involved during the sponsorship. So you have to identify which program be in, okay? So if you're coming through the private sponsorship, whether you're a group of 5, whether you're SAP, whether you're community, so the calculations are there on their website, the RICC website. They call it minimum financial support calculator. So in that calculator, I've sent the link. So how it is done is that it's by province actually. So according to the province rating, it determines how much you're gonna pay. So for example, let me just give a rough range. So to sponsor somebody like this right now, you need between 17 to 20,000 Canadian dollars, depending on the province. The highest province is ABC, whereby the minimum financial support Ranto is 20,000 BC. The rest of the provinces, it ranges from 17 to 19. Ranto, that's what I'm saying. So Naya family and Loic is sponsored, so it has to be calculated. So it depends also according to the provinces. So you have to pay for like 3 people, a family of 3 can go up to 30 something, just a family of 3. And to the situation right now with inflation and everything, to be honest, 20,000 I don't think they're talking 20,000 right now. And if Nacha them Baran do sponsor, Bawu Kabakayo, our 20,000 can I think of Ben coin. So Nabalran do sponsor, Kieran win be Ben Kubaku Chilu, what you call Benenka Point Rotter Rode, you're gonna be stuck with that person for like 1 year. 1 year, you're supporting this person. Let's say 20,000. Kunaya ran when like
Thank you for that information. Let me interrupt. I don't quite joke and let a green card. To wear very good and I'm very that one so that people who want to come just go to green card. That thing and me that you're talking green card in what is fine.
So 20,000 I think a coin, especially BC 10 I think a coin. Would you rather want to bus actually alip kero? One talk about pan one talk air alip kero 2,000 a month. The chamber at your Latin. There are other bills by your Latin. You know, ko other stuff. So it's just not I think I did so now but Kerala Simbaran Babakana broadband shopping could be Louis because of where I think about Quanyen. So ever ben kuba ben Louis Cabain ben away we love. To be honest, I'm working here. Well right now, but still we're struggling. And the last one, the processing. So nacha ngade do chalwa identified already. And yinchin and nongweku sponsorship bayin ben chalwa identified and in the nongweku and also I think a gambika in bakaran dun kana sponsored. So the thing is that people actually are patient. These programs they take long. Okay, it can go up to 3 years, especially Tombuaka Koijuikwa out of Kemi, Kenya or Uganda. So, for example, roughly Abalebaga, Uganda and Kenya right now they range 3 years. 3 years wait. That's the minimum you can wait. Ben Canada under refugee sponsorship of private sponsorship. So it's 3 years, and also it depends again on the visa office overseas. So the visa offices overseas are what Kadane Koike East Africa, Uganda and Kenya, one in Nairobi, one in Dar es Salaam. So this is where the applications were processed. So those ones are very slow, just because quite are weak sponsor. Kuchiman Minti and Edwell, sponsorship agreement holders in Canada, I over 130. Okay, and also applications to quite a group of 5, and also community sponsors. So like Achitian. So create a business law. So imitate for a long time. So you have to be patient. So the link also Gametan on how to check your processing time. So depending on country trying thing. Yeah. So those are the stuff I can talk right now. If there's any question that I need to answer on the comment section, please let me know.
Yeah, someone said before that can you come as a refugee with no identity? I think you already mentioned. I think it's no.
So actually, if you're a refugee, we can do chalwa loss I don't know what can you register. because right now countries which are quite well registered, so it's understandable sometimes, but it's very strict with the Quaker community group of 5. You cannot sponsor somebody to know refugee document. You cannot. That's a no. So you're not qualified to be sponsored under group of 5, and community sponsors national refugee register status determination. That's what they call it. And with the sponsorship agreement holders, I ka Paul baka quite baka kalua sponsor quite him worried refugee. So but it depends again. So sometimes immigration ali baka quite teach baka warangera and kind of refugee document. So you can never tell.
So what I'm imagining here is, for example, a South Sudan, especially in Jonglei area, could look at this place. And so you come here and apply that, you link or boy that sponsorship agreement, you get and you just apply to this place by a board. And is that because flood is also a natural disaster and there is no way that you're gonna go back, your livelihood is destabilized, then that means that you can sponsorship agreement holders can support you to come directly, or will it not work? I know you have to go through refugee program, Ben Kakuma or Bala, Uganda refugee camp, and then from there now you can get chain private sponsors or government or government sponsorship.
Thank you, Akol, for that question. I have to clarify something. So actually, with the private sponsorship, so private sponsorship of refugees was actually created for Canadian citizens and Canadian PRs to sponsor their families abroad, refugees' families. So we actually work directly with the refugees abroad. So you need to have a family member in Canada that is going to work with the organization Bukwai sponsor. So they are approached by Canadian permanent residents or citizens. So that's how it works. So, but they don't work directly with the refugees.
Got you. So now the call work and I tell my director, your mama, you command or when you queen cake and now clarity.
Yes,
that one is very easy. It's usually up to 6 months. I think even I didn't do bear on your family, right? Or what?
Yeah.
That's under family.
Yeah. You can bring your father, your mother, and a spouse. It takes maybe a processing time. That what might take some time, because if there are so many applications backlogging in the system, like when during COVID, right, there was a lot to be processed and there was not a lot of work power with the IRCC. That what might delay things, but when their work is efficient, that is straightforward. Because anyways, like for example, for the case of my dad, he was coming for my graduation. And for that, by the way, you don't have to be a citizen or permanent resident, because I am not. And for as long as you have a legal valid status in Canada, you can bring your spouse, your dad, your mom, your child to Canada to be with you for an extended period of time. I know it depends from what country you're coming from. I know for Kenya, a friend of mine applied for their mother, and their mother was given a 10 years multiple entry visa.
Yeah, it's called super visa for parents,
for not super visa, actually, just the normal visa.
Wow.
Multiple entry. For my dad, I think for South Sudan, they give less than that, because anyways, our validity for our documentations is only 5 years. So they give 2 years. So my dad could enter Canada multiple times within the 2 years of his visa validity, which is a good thing. Like he came, and if he wanted to come between now and until when his visa expires, he can always come back without having to go through that process again. So yeah, that's something that can be done, and it even gets easier if you're a PR and a citizen to then bring. That's where, let's say, super visa comes in, because anyways, the normal visitor's visa, there's a cap of up to 6 months for the period for which this person can stay in Canada, and then they have to exit and re-enter and stay for another 6 months. But super visa allows them to stay for as long as they wish without having to exit and come in, because the costs of exiting and coming in rack up really fast. Yeah, but I think it can be done. You can literally go to the border, cross to the US, and come back in. You don't have to fly to Nairobi or to Juba and fly back. There are ways to do it, but definitely it's something to keep top of mind. And when one is a PR or a citizen, then you can bring your parent under super visa. And I think the only costs that comes in at this point is to pay for their medical insurance, because I think they are not covered for medical insurance when they are staying with you. Insurance only covers those who are students, workers, and permanent residents, and citizens. But somebody that is staying under your care, you have to take care of their medical insurance. In case they fell sick, they are taken care of, or they go to the hospital under that insurance. So that's something for sure to keep top of mind. And at the end, you were talking about citizens and PRs not dealing directly with refugees. I'm not quite clear on that. What do you mean not dealing directly with the refugees?
So what I was trying to say was that the groups, the sponsorship agreement holders, the group of five and the community sponsors are chaired directly can refugees. So these
You
private,
mean the refugee organizations in the camp
I mean the refugees themselves,
themselves?
sponsored kaka. So they don't work directly with them. So let's say in Korba, your sister was sponsored.
Mhm.
So the organization or the group of five will not work directly with that person, but with you.
Oh, I see.
You as a Canadian or a permanent resident.
Okay, and then I process the case for my sister until when she gets
So
here.
I
They
look
take
at
it.
yin. So yin kabija lala jam kana rantui.
Mm.
So what you do, you help them fill out the applications, get all the documents. Yin kabakang ben bay ko gamke koi lu kan koi be sponsorship application lo submit. So and every correspondence abe atwa yin, kwabe atwa organization, kwabe atwa refugees. So these three by the RICC, but identity application was submitted. So all of the three people will receive emails from the RICC. So that's what I was saying.
Okay, perfect. I understand now. And there's a question about who knows about fees program. I know this is one. I think this is a structure. I think this is actually an organization that was formed by some students that came through WUSC. I know Kuala Kuchben is one of the program runners for this. Yechol Kuala Kuchben? Yeah, Kuala Kuchben. And I know during Maisha Canada, Gatwatch also works with fees, so they came talking about it. So maybe I can speak to a little bit of what I heard during that program. It might not be the fulsome information, so I will encourage you to go to their website and actually reach out to the people that I mentioned, Kuala Kuchben, Jalagat Watch. They have better information. But what I know is all that Athing has been talking about. They have tried to capture that, and they actually try to bring people together that will be sponsors. Okay, and then so I think they have actually they have registered themselves as an organization that the citizen or the PR can go to if you want your person to be registered, to be brought to Canada. So you work with them, and then they do the entire process. I think they do it I don't know if they do the group of five thing and also as an organization, and they can even take people who are students, especially those who are in the refugee, and they bring them here and ensure that they get assimilated into the industries that need people to work in. So that's a bit of what I got from that, but I think it's more of the private sponsorship that Athing was talking about. Under what categories exactly they work, I am not quite clear on that. So you might want to check in with that. Mariak Yordit. Mariak Yordit is the one that asked that question. So you want to reach out to Kola Kwichben. I think he's Kola Kwichben on Facebook. You can reach out to him. And Gatwatch, I think he's called Kwon Gatwatch on Facebook, and then you can speak to them and they will tell you more about this. I don't know if Athing knows something because they're based in BC, so Athing might know a bit. Okay, no, she doesn't. So then reach out to these people and
Thank
ask
you.
them questions. Yeah.
Thank you, thank you. And if you find this information very useful, thank you, Mariaka. I hope you have been answered. Go and reach out directly to them. It's as Lisa did say, it's an organization that is very new and they're trying to do private sponsorship and work placement. That is what they're doing. You can reach out to them. We don't have like a very critical detail about them, but the link is there to have it. So thank you, thank you. And if you're liking this information, please share it with others, because I know we talk about private refugee sponsorship in length here, but we also mention other ways to come, like being international student and how to look for a scholarship to help you, because if you don't have money, you're not from a rich background, it's impossible to come and survive in Canada and do your education. As Lisa did mention, the links are there so that you can look for a scholarship, and someone has what qualification you need to be an A student, B students, no C's, no D's. I don't know. There are small colleges that may take C. Check the website and see if that is possible.
Maybe
A and B, it give you opportunities for a scholarship.
Yeah, maybe I can speak to that a little bit, Akwal, to the eligibility criteria, right?
Yeah.
Always for sponsorships, because these are very competitive. These are opportunities that ask for competitive people across the entire world or across entire Africa, right? I know for MasterCard, they only needed 10 across Africa. So 10 across Africa is across the entire continent of Africa. That is not that's not a big number, okay? And people are very competitive. So as you say, grades are really important, right? You need to have very good grades. So for aspiring students that are still in high school, this is the time to put in hard work to secure yourself a sponsorship if your parents cannot afford to take you to school, or if you desire to go to the elite international, I mean the elite world-class universities across the world. It doesn't matter whether Canada, anywhere in the world, you will need to have good grades, right? So doing your school is the first thing. The second qualification, before I go even into eligibility, and when I go into eligibility, it will just be a simple answer. Not a specific scholarship has the exact same qualifications as the last, right? So you have to go to the link and read what is required and see if you have those. But yeah, the second thing after good grades that I was going to speak about is diligence. You literally have to be diligent, okay? You have to be diligent. You have to have that fortitude. You have to be an organized, strategic, hardworking person, you know, because there are small details that you don't need to miss. This is a competition for one position. Then you might find 100 applications, just 100 applications for one position. What am I saying? 100,000 applications for one
I
position.
was wondering.
Yeah, 100,000 positions for applications for one position. I mean, that is if you bring the ratio down. Okay, for 10 people they need, you might find that 200,000 people have applied for it. We are not exaggerating this number. This is where the competition is. So you have to be the best of the best. To get that. And the first, I mean, grades are not the only thing. Your essays will also, I don't know if people say essays, wherever flies, potato. But yeah, your essays are going to be the other thing, but this is where diligence come in, right? You have to write like excellent essays and then ask people to proofread them for you. Because if you're writing there and there as one thing, these people are just going to throw out, they're going to serve chips or potato chips using your CV because they or using your essay paper, because they'll be like, this person does not know how to, they're not diligent enough, they're not putting in the time to look at their essays properly, so then I'm not going to put in the time to read your essays. So that's another thing. The question was asked about eligibility criteria. When the link is there, that's why I say do your research, okay? Because this is a question that I will not be happy to answer. If someone asked me in my inbox, I will not answer you, because my life is so busy that I am not going to go and read for you. Okay,
Yeah.
you want
So,
me to go on the link and do and read the eligibility criteria so that I can come and tell you, oh, you have to be 18 and above and you have to have this grade and you have to have this. I'm not doing that for you. Go on that website and read the eligibility criteria. Among a criteria, Kinjalo, what does this mean? Kini Jabenti, this is what I was saying. Intelligent questions are good. You can ask, oh, Adit, I was reading this and there is this point that I do not understand. What does it mean, or how did you understand it? What do you think they want me to provide? Now we can have a conversation there, not asking me what is the eligibility criteria. If you don't know, my friend, sir, or madam, even me, I don't know.
and that make it very hard to come through academic and merit-based pathway. It's very hard. The easy way is to come through spouse. So I know Nyandu Canada. But you be careful.
Because coming through those ways need hard work, right? I mean, so the easiest, but isn't the spouse thing also hard work? You will need to.
It's hard work because you have to pay for the ticket. Okay? Rankin, I think, been you from Akuma, so he or she is not eligible for anything.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
okay,
this person is 100% depending on you.
That is
while you are swinging it to a very nice place. I mean, maybe I don't know, you ladies started ahead of me, and if there are not any other questions, maybe we can swing it for fun, no?
Yes.
For fun purposes, coming through a spouse or as a boyfriend or a girlfriend, because Canadians are actually big on that. If I wrote a letter today and I say I'm inviting a boyfriend of mine, they will come tomorrow, right?
Exactly.
But as a thing,
and that's why a lot of Purmuras and Pursuras are very active in, because you don't need to read the eligibility criteria, you don't need down payment. But before we go there, give me 1 minute to talk about other important pathways. So if you are an innovator, you have business idea that you think can serve Canadian, you can come as an entrepreneur. So there is a startup visa pathway as well. And I know Ketia mentioned when we will share all these details. So if you want to come to work in a temporary worker, now the seasons, now the man in a or in a fruit I could have. So so if you run agriculture and if you could so Sudan cause of insecurity, you could have Canada. There is also a pathway there. So long as you quit and you can go through it. One thing I have to mention, through all these immigration pathways, be very careful of scams. There are many people out there collecting money from vulnerable people, and they are not legit. I remember last year when I was in Juba, there was a scandal that went out in refugee camps in Uganda, where someone went and collect money, promised people that they will come abroad, and people who big cat can be the time can doom can low and then the following day you can ready go around jalu disappear your numbers to block and everything. Well, everything I choose gamma who that person disappeared on them and they lost everything. So if someone is asking you money to process your document, please, those are scams. Be aware. That's why this information is very important. That's why we are sharing all the links that you can go and read. Back to the topic. So the easy migration pathway, just a family or the family is. But right now, thing I are tight because you are quite I benefit is scam book for quite. So if you are coming purposely Canada right now, okay, in your spouse, no, you are given some years at least. It used to be 2 years to prove that in the around before any year the permanent residence because look, we have 5 minutes to close. The thing will come back to you and then we wrap up the show.
Yeah, no, I don't even know what to talk about on this on this angle, right? Because it's just wrong. Even for us that are here, right? You cannot put your burdens on another person to say, oh, I want to, let's say, get married to a Canadian citizen so that I become a citizen. It's just so wrong. So even for those who are back home to latch onto somebody and pretend to like them so that they bring you, it's so wrong because all of you are going to end up in trouble. Both the person that brings you and you are going to be in trouble as well, right? Because the person that brings you, I think, was alluding to something. There is no support. And like, let's say if I brought a boyfriend or wherever right now, abaya nan ya ba tam ko ba ler pa na if na bay. Okay, about transport around. Kuna taka lo this is where fight starts because rana when your real check it to my, you know. So because I don't have money to give him, Bengala Louis Bengala chat around or Ben and have fun and what have you. Maybe we will get an animal attack a use one KB. So this just gets it gets out of hand. I think it only works like, let's say Iran to buy in that's better. But there is something really good somebody Makui Mengistu, I think. Coming especially in the past a few years back, I had mentioned the pathways for students were really were really open, right? People would have but the good thing with, let's say, the Indians and other nationalities, many a times they have money. Okay, they have money to take advantage of any opportunities that open. Like when Canada was an open gate, they literally rushed into Canada because they have the money, or if they don't have the money, they have a system where they can, I think they can get their money easily, and then could they come and work here as they, and then they pay that money as they settle into Canada as students, and then they become permanent residents and citizens later. Many a times, actually, they just stop at permanent residency. That was something that our people would have taken advantage of. But the reason as to why many a times, even the little money that is needed to come in as a student, especially someone who are colleges are not as expensive as universities. When I was mentioning Akechi expensive, but right now actually Kenya, right? Because they're tightening everything. At that time, when we colleges, you just needed, like, let's say, 20,000. 20,000 would have given you a pathway. You come and you pay 10,000 Kekaka College for the whole year, and then the other 10,000 as you accommodate yourself, you feed yourself, and then you start working, right? Indians, other nationalities, especially Nigerians. Africa. That's what they do. Yeah. So they I look at Louis and sometimes even I share accommodation and what have you channel. So that's what people used to do, and you become a permanent resident, and then life is better. But right now, those have become, well, I can think 100%, but they're really tight right now. They're really tight right now. So you have to have a provincial nomination. I studied in Quebec. We had that right away. You told CQ, a certificate de sélection du Quebec. Like, you have to be selected to Quebec to go to school. Then now it's needed by other provinces that never used to need it, like you Ontario, BC, Saskatchewan, and so on and so forth. I think even including Alberta. So it's a whole different ballgame right now. But yeah, the easiest definitely, without having to read and to be diligent and work very hard. The only hard work that you need to do is to talk sweet, proper enough to the person that you are dating, is definitely dating or marriage. But boy, if that is what you have to do to come to Canada, so are you desperate? It's horrible, and it's gonna end up in it's gonna end in a very bad way, as we have seen it many a times. It doesn't work. And now, as I said, Canadian government is trying to protect its people. They will not give it to you right away. And if this person notices that you are playing games, you just wanted a pathway to come to Canada, and you're actually not authentic, they can say, no, this person, no, I'm not giving my credentials to this person, and therefore you'll get deported. It does not matter how long. You might waste 20 years in Canada and you will get deported by the end. I know that people who have wasted a lot of their time here, and they actually get deported dead later. So it's not a joke. You do pay for it dearly later. Honesty is the best path, I would say.
Thank you, and Atian, can you take the platform to share your last thoughts on why is it important, this immigration and pathway, and just conclude what your message to those who want to sponsor their loved one, they want to connect with this group, or those people who want their loved one to help them come here. What last message can you give to them? Then I will come and close the show.
So, viewers, thank you for being here at Ladies Amantirikana. So, my closing remarks would be first of all, please, don't let yourself be scammed. If you go to the RICC website, there is fraud and scammers. Please read there. Lock and cake. So, ways when the benefit yin scam and fraud. So auto 10. And also Duka families don't be hard on your family stuff in Canada. Like can work lo sponsor nga chikor beyin bago pirarele biten, especially with the coining meat, it's just so hard. And career involve money is just not easy. It's not very easy. So just don't be hard on them. And gentlemen, please appreciate. Nati in college, please do school. And Tedeng Badial Ben through one of the programs like WUSC. WUSC is doing very good, especially for East Africa, Uganda or Kenya. There are so many other countries. It takes like over 39 countries, from over 39 countries, the WUSC program. So just do that and you will be okay. In Canada, there are so many ways. You can come through work, you can come through study permit, you can come as a refugee and asylum seeker. So please just be alert and just be easy on your families. And also to say that, what should I say? Well, involved in the sponsorship, it's just so hard. So, na chaben, kubayin baben rare kanaran chibay. So first of all, there are obligations your sponsor need to fulfill. So that's supporting you 100%. And also na chaben ta, inchu kurba barrier kana ran one being ran randu chibe kana inchi lebepen you can move out, but just know that you're still obligated to this person as long as 1 year can talk to, you're still obligated. So either you need to help find this person accommodation and also still support them. It doesn't matter. You still have to support that person. Eran jadi aku peer to lawyer them. So nacha bay, first of all kabaloy, you have to take them to their bank, open their bank account, have their SIN or social insurance number, their care cards, and a lot of other things. Alle baya lera around. Take them around bakala child because inchi libaran bay kubako choche rare by still people understand you're working kocha lui, but that's why yen well, when you're sponsoring somebody, you don't have to sponsor by yourself. Okay? So ache yin to na chinom kanisa won le beyin kwai mia in settling this person through their settlement, and then you need to have community when the clean point, because ran kana babe ko bako babe word about watching delay and watching more mental health problems. So ababen so it's not good. So also another effect there can na charan be ku bako kan kan ye cheng ku ne ke chi wai awal fi awal in ran bi ran kana in chi relationship do cha yo kana koi ke bi ran kana, so in chi ba pol the next time ba ba lo sponsor in chi ran den ba lo sponsor, yes you want sponsor again. And also nala kuma lo find out in ran wan to be kana a sponsorship that can be smoothly, and nang issues that led to breakdown of the sponsorship. It's either organization but our in problems. So cake be either be akuma ke loy cancel beka nya I chik be lui, or akuma abeya tight on them abeke ya like be close under watch, so which is not good. So everybody wants to be on the safe side of everything. So that's think that's what I can say for now. And thank you, everybody.
Thank you. Lisa, did you have last thing? Then I can close.
No, I think you can just go ahead and close.
All right. Thank you. Thank you so much, Lisa. Thank you, Atieng, for this wealth of information. I hope our viewers who are currently there, I hope you are excited. You have learned so much. Please share the message with everyone. The goal here is to give people information. We believe in power of the information. When people are armed with right information, they can do anything to make their lives better. So all the advices that wonderful ladies have given to you, take this advice and really use them. That is the only reward we get from you guys. And share the message and follow our platform so that you can get updates on new things that we hope to share with you for free. This is usually paid session. This is we're giving you for free. We've been giving you tips on how to come easily here. For rich folks that have money, you can just come here as an investor or as a self-employed. If you have your own money, you just come directly. So in the link there, you can tell your rich uncles that want to leave the country, they can come here. Give money to Canada. Canada won't rich people. That one is easy. So long as you have money, you can always go anywhere you like. For those folks that really are from humble background like myself, you have to focus in school, as Lisa did said, and be attentive to detail. If you are still in high school, my friend, high school for 1, Form 2, Form 3. My sister, you're up in group, school, you participate in it, be prefect in school, build your community service part so that when you write your story, get very exciting. That you volunteer in school, you volunteer in church activities. Those things are very community. Those things I get out in essay that I show your leadership or initiatives. Those things are being put in your application, and don't rely on being sponsored. Spouse like but Ben. That one not mashallah, but don't rely on it. That's not the only pathway. You can come as an entrepreneur, an innovator. You can come here being a scholar, but then being the expatriate. You can come here. You can be supported too. 19 group of 5 team of you have relatives here. Quite getting advice here before banner close. Don't be harsh on them. If they don't join hand, get the or Kuri Met can get the big sponsor. So group of 5 here is just like get the big action mark which you are who will at least 20,000 ben around to back when chatting already if you miss that part. So when I get the action you are who ben get around to support for 1 year or ben family be support for at least 1 year, they can go to government kind of work to book around what the public be support. It can a very legit pathways and then get you any children and you for like an you know very matter which not no money and time or so so now you need to be You need to be in a place when I bear and be support will integrate, we are successful. You live around Benjamin and Jenna thing, well, but if you know me, and I cannot go out by like yard or you know, no opportunity in can do the service. So give your people time, be will wait. So then I'll be in, we are taking good care in and this was pink on ye, and I can in Jalio in the loin by free and help. So this Canero, I left off of your why I think what does in the water, okay. It's just that in the you could long walk. The information is out there. We will help you as much as possible. That is our goal, and that's why we're here sharing information and helping you. So thank you. Share the message with everyone. If you have questions, come to message us at the U-turn. We will get back to you. If if you need help, you are a student, you have your A, you have read, you have read all the things, and reach out to us, or we will read your application and help you apply to those scholarships. So thank you, and have a wonderful day. Thank you.